Hey there drone fans, Rick here again from Drone Valley. In today's clip, I'd like to review another accessory that I use pretty much every day to charge my USB devices. It's a 4-port USB charger from a company called RavPower. Now, if that name rings a bell, it's because I've talked about them a lot in other clips. I buy a lot of tech from these guys, and I found pretty much every product I've bought has been really well engineered. It's got a lot of clever features built into it, and they tend to build in a lot of the advancing technology that's been emerging over the last couple of years into the products they sell, and they're also very competitively priced, so I like all those things. Now, in the spirit of full disclosure, they did send me this one for review because I sent them an email saying, hey, I own 4 or 5 of these things. I've got them plugged in all over the house. I've got one in the office, one in the basement in the shop. I've got one in my travel bag. When I travel, it's with me on the road. And they said, well, sure, you can review it, and we'll send you one. You can review the one we send you. So I promise you it's not going to impact my opinion of the product. I'm always honest about the stuff I talk about. But to take the next step, I'm actually going to give this one away because I own a bunch of them. I don't need this one. I'll give this away at the end of the clip. And even more than that, I bought 2 of these out of my own pocket, so I'll be giving 3 of these away. So if you watch the clip and check the links below, you'll see how you can enter that contest. And there's no strings attached. We're basically just going to pick a random winner in each of those 3 contests and send it to you for free. There'll be no shipping charges or anything. So stay tuned. If you need one of these, check the comments below and you'll see how you can win one of them. All right, so enough said about that. The other thing that I'm sure you're scratching your head about at this point is, Rick, how can you talk about a charger? A charger is a very basic device. What could you possibly tell me about a charger that I would care about? And honestly, I get that, right? A lot of people, when they're buying a charger, they'll go out to the store, they'll find a charger that's in their price range, they'll take it home, rip open the package, plug it in the wall, connect it up to the device and just start charging. But there's a lot of smarts inside these chargers that a lot of people don't consider. And if you buy a less expensive charger, you've got this device now that's converting electricity, that's charging some really special and advanced electronics, that if that thing goes crazy, it could damage the electronics. So you want to make sure whatever charger you're using has got some safeguards built into it to protect you in the event of one of those things happening. Now this charger has all that and more, so I'll get into the features in a second. All right, so in the box, pretty straightforward product. If you open up the box, you'll see immediately 2 pieces of paper. The first one is a warranty card, and everybody's got a warranty card, but lo and behold, this is a lifetime warranty. Now, where do you hear that in electronics nowadays? Most days you buy something, you get a 60 or 90-day warranty on it, and then good luck to you if the thing blows up down the road. So a lifetime warranty is something really special. The second thing is it's got a manual, a full printed manual, and I know I go on about this every time I open a product, but a lot of these less expensive products, and this is not a terribly expensive charger, they don't put a manual in the box. They give you some barcode you got to scan and go to their website and print out a PDF. I just love that they take the time and the expense of actually printing out a manual because maybe you don't read the manual. I like reading the manuals. In here, it tells you everything you need to know about the product. What can I connect up to it? What kind of power does it provide? How do I care for it? Are there any kind of precautions I need to take when I'm traveling? So I like having a manual. All right, inside the box, really 2 components. There's a cord to plug it in, and there's the actual charger itself. Now, I'll spend a little time talking about both of these. The cord's nice because it's longer than a lot of the cords you get with these chargers. I find that a lot of the ones that I've reviewed kind of cheap out and they give you a little 3-foot cord. What good is that going to do me if this is on my desk trying to find an electrical outlet within 3 feet of me? So this is a longer cord that gives you a much longer connection, if you will, between the wall and your charger. Now they make a couple of versions of this charger. This one uses this cord to plug it in under your desk or behind your desk, and this would sit on your desk. They also make a version that has the actual plug on the side of it. So if you want to plug it into a wall outlet, then you'll have these 4 outlets that you can charge from. And that's the one that I actually carry when I travel, because if I'm at a hotel, I've got an outlet right at the desk. I plug it in and I can charge up what I need to charge. The one with the cord, though, I like that because it sits on my desk, because a lot of times I'm changing cables on what I'm charging. So having it on the floor connected to an outlet somewhere under my desk means I've got to get on my hands and knees and plug and unplug cables. So I like this sits on my desk, this cord goes under my desk, and I can charge what I need to charge. In addition to that, the weight of this is nice. So the build on it is very solid. There's no creaking, there's no cracking. You can't even see a seam on it, and it's got some weight to it. I like that because it stays where I put it. So when I put it on my desk, I'm not constantly watching it sort of slide off the desk or slide into a corner. So the added weight is really nice. On the front, you'll see 4 USB connections. Each one of these USB connections can deliver a full 2.4 amps of current. Now that's important because the USB standard has changed a lot over the years. When it first came out, it could basically charge at a 1 amp current, then it moved to a 2 amp current, then a 2.1, then a 2.4. So the latest standard is 2.4 amps. And if you've got some of the newer devices that use a USB-C connection, that's a thirsty device that wants to charge at 2.4 amps. A lot of the chargers that are out there will only charge at 1 amp or 2 amps. And if you've got a 2.4 amp device, it'll try and throw electrons at it at a 2 amp current rate, but it's going to take a lot longer to charge it up. Each one of these USBs on the front individually can supply 2.4 amps of current, and it's also smart. So it knows that if you're using an older device that only charges at a 1 amp current rate or a 2 amp current rate, it's going to adjust its charging current to exactly what that device needs. So it's smart enough to know when I plug something into it, what the characteristics of that device are, and it adjusts, again, individually each of these ports for that device to throw just the right amount of current at it to charge it as quickly as possible, but not damage the device. Now these three are all the same, they're just standard USB connections. The top one, which you can use for any device, but if you've got a QC device or a quick charge device, which is based on the Qualcomm quick charge standard, like a lot of the Samsung devices use that, it's tinted green. If you plug your Qualcomm device or your QC device into that, it'll actually charge it at a much higher current rate. So a QC device will typically charge in about 30 minutes to 50% of its potential. So if you've got one of those phones that uses the QC standard and you plug it in there, in 30 minutes time, you're more than half full, which is kind of cool. This is smart enough to know that if I plug one of those devices in, it recognizes it and says, hey, that's a QC device, let me charge it. That'd be neat if that's all it did. But in addition to that, the QC standard, which is now at QC3, started at QC1, QC2, QC3. If you've got an older device, a lot of the chargers that have that QC compatibility either are not QC3 compliant or they're not backward compatible. So if you have an older device, it won't actually recognize it. It has to be on the same standard. This one, again, because it's smart, knows that it can adjust the current on all these ports to accommodate the device you're connecting up. In the case of the QC device, it's got extra brains that says it's a QC device and it's a QC2 standard, so it'll adjust its current rating for the QC2 standard. So it's a smart device. No matter what you plug in there, it's going to be smarter than you in a lot of cases to only throw as much current as the device can handle. So pretty cool from that perspective. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of magic to it, but again, I've used a lot of their products and I really find these guys to be just top flight technology. They just really build a product that I've had zero problems with on all the devices I bought from them. And I test a lot of these products. I buy a lot of electronics and a lot of toys, and I've been very disappointed in some of the other chargers that are out there. These guys have been rock solid. So that's pretty much all I had for this review. There's not a lot to go into beyond that. As far as the giveaway goes, I'm going to do one where you just basically enter it. So there's a link below. All you have to do is put your email in there, and we'll pick a random winner out of that. I won't keep those emails. I'll get rid of the list when we're done. But if you enter that, it's just a random drawing. I also have a newsletter that we send once or twice a month. If you're not on our newsletter list, please register for the newsletter because I send you all kinds of discount codes and special deals that we get from manufacturers and some late breaking news, that type of stuff. And we send those once or twice a month, and you can get off the newsletter anytime you want. But if you join the newsletter, I'm going to do one of these giveaways just for the newsletter group. And then the third place I'm going to give one away is I have a Patreon group that is sort of a Drone Valley family or community of flyers that are supporting the channel on Patreon. If you're part of that community, which is a small community, you get a better chance of winning, you'll have a chance to get the third one. Now, if you win in one of them, you're not going to get two of them, right? So I'm going to be really cautious about, you only get one, is what I'm saying, if you're in all three groups. But that Patreon group, if you decide to support the channel through there, it's a small donation to the channel. You can actually win one of these, and we'll do other giveaways as well through the Patreon channel, as well as all the other benefits we're going to provide through the Patreon channel. So that's pretty much all I had for today. If you have questions about this, whether it's the device, the company, or other things we've talked about, drop them in the comments below, and I promise to get back to you as quickly as I can. I really enjoy putting these clips together, and I've tried to expand the channel a little bit to talk about other technology outside of drones that I use on a regular basis, this being one of them. Even though it's related to drones, I know it's a little bit different, but I've gotten a lot of good feedback from you guys that you're enjoying sort of this little extra expansion of the channel to other technology, so we'll continue to do that. I get a lot of fun out of putting these together, and the comments you guys put down and the support you've given me has not gone unnoticed. It really is driving me to do more of this stuff. So we'll continue to make them as long as you're still enjoying them. So again, that's it for today. Until next time, happy flying.